And we will start sitting nice and tall. We do not send thoughts of peace until we have completed our practice, because we may not be at peace right now. We start our practice and we may feel scattered, we may feel mentally chaotic, we may actually feel like total opposite of peace. And so it's actually dangerous to send that stuff out, because thoughts are real. And so we need to be careful about when do we send those things out. We have to cultivate that within ourselves first, strengthen that aspect of ourselves, and then we can have that energy to send out. So let's just notice the current state of mind. Closing the eyes, softening the face. Check in with the posture. Your chin might be jutting forward. I know mine is, because I am sitting at the desk much more than ever. So check in and see, is it jutting forward? Then go ahead and draw it in, and then take the crown of the head upwards, lengthening the neck. If you ever notice dancers' necks, they're very strong and long, and they're upright. So we want to look for that. Physical yoga being our modern expression of these asanas, a lot of them have been taken from dancing training. So now we can watch the breath. Just observe, don't change the breath just yet. See what you have come in with, what you're starting your practice with. Maybe even count the inhalation, count the exhalation. See how short these breaths are. And then let's wake up the diaphragm and really begin to breathe now. So as you take the next inhale, fill up the belly, work all the way up to the collarbone. Let the collarbone lift, and then feeling the belly draw in, you're going to let the diaphragm stay contracted for a moment. And then exhale, release. At the bottom of the exhale, empty all the way, and then hold the breath for a moment. Feel the diaphragm again activate. And then begin to breathe again, inhaling. Hold. Exhaling. Hold, contracting. Inhaling. Hold. Take this at your pace, but just make sure to hold after every inhalation, every exhalation. It's just a nice way to wake up the diaphragm. And then one more deep breath like this with the holding. And then breathing deeply without doing that holding, but still breathing deeply. We're going to come into our mantra, our invocation, palms together. Om, I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher, that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, let's start to move our bodies. We're actually going to start in seated with the legs out in a V formation. And just begin to move a little bit side to side. Just kind of maybe even circle. Just a gentle motion to help the body wake up. You might feel the hip joints like this. Might get a little popping. Get the low back. Maybe you find yourself upright and move the shoulders or move the head. Let's actually just take like a good minute of self-guided movement. Of course, breathing as you're doing so. Rhythmic breath. Balancing the body. And the mind by balancing the breath. Remember those ankles, remember the hands. Get as much movement as you can while you're here for another 5 seconds. And then we'll go ahead and find our trunks upright. Now, if you're finding this to be too difficult right now, bend the knees, but we'll keep the feet flexed. And then we'll take the arms out to the sides. And just feel the connection of the sitting bones with the mat, with the heels and the mat, or probably not the mat. Feel the length of the arms, the length of the spine, the upright quality of the neck. And if that's not there, then remember, draw the chin in, send the crown of the head up. Let's just take 3 breaths like this, 3 complete breaths. The next inhalation, reach the arms upwards. We'll flip the palms up and then span the arms upwards. Next exhale, begin to hinge forward and then release the hands down where the trunk stops to lower with ease. All right, check in and see if you need to bend the knees or if this is good where you are. And we're just going to start to walk towards one leg. I like to have the fingertips up here. It just gives me a little support and extra lengthening. And then walk the fingertips or hands over to the other leg. Keeping the back as long as you can. Let's go to the other side. And over again. Keep going. Each time you visit a leg, seeing that there's been a shift. Now that the body has had a chance to digest this position, you might stay towards one leg a little longer, maybe a good 3 breaths. Maybe hands around that leg or on the leg. Eventually switching sides. And then finding your way to the center where you can just rest, maybe 3 or 5 breaths. See about not rounding the spines. If you need to prop up with the elbows or with blocks, do so. And then we'll come to vertical with the trunk. We're going to close the legs, maybe use the hands for some help there. And then let's come all the way down to the back. Or bring the knees into the chest and rock a little side to side. All right, let's grab a hold of the feet. So open the knees, hold the feet, and then draw the feet in as you squeeze the shoulders back and really try to flatten the upper back on the mat. Okay, sensing the shoulder blades pressing down, drawing the feet in. You might lift the head and strengthen the neck a little bit. Send the shoulders down. Let's lower the head, grab a hold of the outer edges of the feet, and lift the feet up into a happy baby, Ananda Balasana. You might turn the head side to side a little bit, or just look for some movement. Let's do some self-guided movement again for about a minute. And there we are at that minute. So still holding, and you might have already done this, but we're going to go there. I did a little bit. Let's take the hands to the inner parts of the feet. So those shoulders are being rotated inwardly. And then go ahead and extend just the right leg, keeping the left foot in and that left knee out. But take that right leg out to the right. So really pushing into that foot to keep the foot nice and flexed. Maybe it feels okay for you to straighten the leg, or maybe not. So just make sure that you are where the body can go. And then just encourage it to go a little bit more. And then we'll switch legs, excuse me. Lying down brings that congestion. And so go ahead and switch legs, left leg out to the left. And we'll come back to center. Bring the knees together with the hands, give them a big squeeze. We're going to move into a bicycle. Very exciting. So go ahead and release the left leg. We'll just start with the left leg forward. The right knee is drawn in. And on the exhale, bring the left elbow to right knee, and then we'll switch. We can inhale, switch legs. Exhale, inhale. Opposite elbow to knee. And we'll just keep going. Now, see if you can pick up the pace so that you do one inhalation and you take 2 motions with the legs. Exhale, 2 motions. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. See if you could draw the belly in as you're doing this, rather than push it out. Just another 5 seconds. And then relax, head down, knees to chest. Going to bring the arms to a T and take the knees to the right, shoulder blades stay down, head turns to the left. Bring the knees back to center, turn them to the left, head to the right. And inhale, knees to center. We're going to take a big transition over to table. So when you're ready, begin to rock a little forward and back. So we'll do that like a Pilates thing. So hands, they do this in yoga too, hands to the lower legs as you rock back and forth till you rock all the way up, cross the ankles, come over to hands, knees, and roll over the toes for a moment and come to seated on the heels to stretch the toes, stretch the feet. Let's take hands behind, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, open the chest. Another breath or two. We're going to go for a big hug, so relax the shoulders, wrap the arms around the chest, take the fingers as far back as you can, still stretching the feet. We're going to take the hands behind, again, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back. Another big squeeze with the other arm on top. Deep, controlled breath. I really like the sound of the Ujjayi breath, you know, that when we say it sounds like the ocean, I mean, how often do we think about, we even have sound makers that use the ocean sound because that rhythm is something our bodies really do thrive on and get relaxed by. So release the hands, take them behind again, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back. We'll take a little bit of a headstand. So if you feel like you don't have enough padding, bring a little bit of a pillow or a blanket to where the crown of the head is going to go. But from here, we'll start with the fingers interlaced, start to come forward. Then you can come to the forehead, but then roll to the crown of the head. You can relax the feet, tops of the feet go down, the arms go up overhead. Remember, you're not on the forehead, you're on the top of the head. Make sure not to move the head any which way. You want to keep it straight. You've got pressure going on right now. We need to be careful. And then we'll release the hands. Take the arms forward. Now shift to the forehead and find heart chakra posture, anahatasana, feeling armpits opening. Maybe if you want a little bit more, you can separate the knees, or you can lift the head to work the chin closer down. Might even rest. And we'll slide the hands up to come to table. Let's come into downward facing dog, but if you prefer child's posture, if you want to go back into anahatasana, feel free. Otherwise, lifting the hips. Okay, we're going to move a little bit into a strong position. So I think you could do this from forearms if needed, but let's just see if we can do it with hands. So we're going to find our way to downward facing dog if you weren't already there. And then from here, you'll take the right foot over to the left off of the mat. And this might be good, or you might be able to lift the left arm and bring weight over to the right hand. So can this be done with the forearm? It's a little bit more challenging, to be honest. But with my right wrist issue, I'm going to be on the fist. So see if that's better for you if you have a wrist issue. So that right leg is kind of behind. It's not really in front quite yet. We might get there. Then we're going to switch. You can come back to downward facing dog. And then the weight goes towards the hands. Take the left leg out to the left. Maybe take the right arm up. You can sense this is good for the whole body. And come back to downward facing dog or child's posture. We're going to rest for a few breaths before we do that again. All right, let's meet in downward facing dog. Okay, you can also do this from plank posture, so if that works for you, you find plank, very strong position. And then we're going to take the right leg again out to the left, but maybe you want to take that right leg and lift it first. And then go ahead and send the right foot out to the left. And you can have it like a lower, like more in line with the left knee, with the belly button, or all the way up by that front corner of the mat, front left corner. Couple deep breaths. Release to switch sides. Maybe lifting that left leg up. And then we'll take that left leg out to the right. Again, find the right spot for it. See if you can keep that left leg straight. And and come out. 5 deep breaths and rest. From downward facing dog, we'll step the feet forward. Into a forward fold, the top of the mat. Maybe release the head. If you really release the head, you're going to feel some opening through the whole spine. And let's come up halfway, lengthen, flatten the back, engage the pelvic floor, lifting the head. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway up, lengthening, and then we're going to take the arms behind and then rise up with a straight back, taking the arms upwards, finding a nice tall stance, engaging the thighs. Let's separate the feet so that they become hip distance apart. Keeping the arms lifted, rise up on the toes, lift the heels. Take 5 breaths. Even if that means you have to bring the heels down and start again, just keep trying. And exhale, release the heels down. I'll bring the palms together, draw the thumbs in towards the heart center. While the hands are together, move the shoulders in circles. Okay, next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold, hands come down. Let's step the left foot back, so we're in a lunge, but then we're going to take the right leg up and behind in a 3-legged downward facing dog. Maybe bend the right knee to take that foot up and over. Maybe look under the left armpit for the right foot. And we'll exhale, bring the right foot between the hands, press the left heel down, and then rise up. We're going to come into Warrior A. Okay, so once you're here, left toes slightly shifted to the left. Right knee over the right ankle. Arms reaching up. If it's too much on the knee, you can always be a little bit before the ankle with the right knee, but not past. All right, let's lift that left heel and scooch the left foot back a little bit. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, twist to the right, bring the arms to a T. Wrap the right arm around the low back, and then inhale the left arm up and over, looking past the right shoulder. Sink into the right knee a little further. Nice little back bend. And then we're going to bring the arms right back to a T, reversing this. Come back to, there's a crescent lunge, arms reaching up. And then into Warrior B, arms to a T, left toes facing left side of the mat, right knee still lunging. Straighten the right leg. Extended triangle posture. Make sure you have good distance between the feet. Reach out with the right arm, lower down to the right leg. Pick up the left arm. Just make sure that the trunk is over the right leg and not going away from it. Okay, but more like going toward it. Maybe look up past the left thumb. Your hand might be above the right knee, below the right knee to the foot, or you might be grasping the right big toe with the peace fingers. We're going to be sending the left arm up overhead, reaching forward with the arms straight. Feel the length through the waist. And then we'll start to bend the right knee so we can plant the hands around the right foot, pick up the right leg. And step the right foot forward, step the left foot forward. This is where we'll switch, just so we're even. Step the right foot back, hands down, pick up the left leg up. Maybe bend that knee, look for the left foot under the right armpit. And the next exhalation, step the left foot forward. Bring the right heel down, rise up in that strong lunge. Arms reaching up. We're going to pick up the right heel and then scooch the right foot back. We need some space to square the hips off so we can twist. So when you're ready, twist to the left, opening the arms, and then wrap the left arm around the low back. Inhale the right arm up and behind. Again, feeling the strengthening, the activation of the low back. And strength of the legs. Sink into the left knee a little deeper. We're going to reverse out, open the arms, bring them upwards as you face forward. We're going to come into Warrior B. Arms open, right foot plants, right toes facing right. And then here we'll straighten the left leg. Prepare for extended triangle posture. Legs stay straight. Reach out with the left arm. Lower the left hand down. Pick up the right arm. Moving toward the leg and not away from it. Maybe looking up past the right thumb. And we'll take that right arm up and over, length through the side body. As we're strengthening the obliques at the same time on the left side. Bend into the left knee to plant the hands around it. Pick up the left leg. And set the foot down. We're going to rest in child's posture for a little bit. Take the knees apart maybe. Hips down, head down. Deep breaths. And you might notice the mind, is kind of settled. It's been focused on these postures. And just by concentrating, it becomes more concentrated and less chaotic, more ordered. So let's use sound to help us maintain that as we're breathing deeply. Just melting your awareness into the sound of the crystal bowl. Let's start to move again. On the next inhalation, rise up to table. We're going to thread the needle. You can separate the knees a bit. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, thread the right arm through. Come down to the right side of the face. And left hand can stay here, or you can extend it and stretch a bit through that arm. Feel the left shoulder blade activate. Now we'll straighten the right arm and then pull that arm back. So we're pulling the shoulder back. So it helps with tension underneath the shoulder blade, which is really hard to get to. Another breath or two. A lot of our tension comes from weakness. And so strengthening those areas is really important so things don't get pulled inappropriately. Okay, we're going to bring the left palm down and then pick up the right arm. Exhale the right hand down, switching sides. Inhaling the left arm up. Exhale, thread the left arm through. Down to the left side of the face. Maybe straightening that right arm. Straightening the left arm. You feel a little bit of a push down as you do. And then draw that left shoulder back. So we're much more activated in this position than maybe we otherwise would do this. Actively drawing the left arm back. I'll bring the right hand back down. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale the left hand down. Let's come into a balancing posture and standing. So when you're ready, find downward facing dog again. Step the feet forward. Let go of the head. While we're here, let's make use of the forward fold. So because we tend to be tight, so we kind of roll to the edges of the feet. Notice if you're doing that. If you're not, go ahead and do it. Notice what you feel and what you don't feel as you're rolling. You have less pressure on the big toes and the whole ball of the foot. Then you're going to start to bring the pressure over to the toes and the ball of the foot right underneath the toes. Okay, and then kind of like drawing the knees towards each other without picking up the feet. Now notice what you feel. This is much more effective for our forward folds. Couple more breaths. And we'll inhale, come up halfway. Look forward, pick up the head. Exhale, lower. Inhale halfway, take the arms behind, sweep all the way up, reach the arms upwards. And we'll bring the palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. It's been a while since we've taken a tree posture on a Sunday morning at least. So let's find tree, and if you need a wall, since we'll have the right leg up first, you would want the left hand by the wall or chair. You might want to step off the mat. Too much cushioning provides too much air underneath the foot, so it can't really ground down. So when you're ready, we'll just feel both of the feet press downward, and then begin to shift the weight over to the left leg. Pick up the right foot, and bring the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Okay, then we're pushing the foot into the leg. You can push the standing leg back into the foot. You're drawing that knee, right knee out to the right. And maybe hands together. If you feel stable, maybe expressing the arms any which way. You can have both arms up. You can have both bent arms out to the sides or straight arms out to the sides. Whatever it is, there's plenty of expressions here. Take 5 more breaths. Notice if that chin is jutting forward. I caught myself, so check in. Vertical neck. And then come out of this side. We'll get ready for the other side. Feeling both feet plant first. Shifting weight over to the right leg. Left foot to the inside of, could be the calf, the ankle, could be the thigh, using the hand, the left hand to support and lift it up there. And then we activate the legs. That left knee is drawing out to the left, not forward. Another breath or two. And then coming out, and you can shake the legs out. We're going to come to standing the top of the mat. I think now is a good time to start holding some of our opening postures. Let's step the feet apart to the edges of the mat. Take the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back. Look upwards. Exhale, fold forward, taking the arms up overhead. We've done this a few times today, but with the legs in different positions. And the trunk. Take about 3 or 4 breaths, letting the head hang loose. It's a great spot for a squat. So let's just see, keep the hands as they are. Begin to bend the knees, lower the hips, release the hands down. Find your squat, then release the hands. Elbows to the insides of the knees, maybe the palms pressed into each other, and then that push into the legs to open up. Lifting the heart, drawing the chin back a little bit. Even if the hips are up, remember that if you have a hard time bringing the hips low with the heels up, a great spot for you is to have with the heels down. A great spot for you is to bring something underneath the heels so that you can feel like you've got them planted on something, even if it's elevated, and then being able to lower the hips a little bit more. Now we're just going to take a breath or two. And let's lower the hips down, so we might need the hands for support, into a cow face posture. If you prefer to do this reclining, feel free to come down to the back and go from there. Otherwise, we're going to take that left foot under and past the right hip, trying to center the knee, taking the right knee as far over above the left knee as you can. And if that's not working, then just do your best. They don't have to be perfectly lined up. So just notice what we've done. We started with the legs wide open, and now we're drawing them as close to each other as we possibly can. So the hips having gone this way, and now they're drawing and folding into themselves. So let's sit up tall, hold that top knee, squeeze the shoulders back. Notice that top hip, that right hip stretching. You can feel the glute opening. Okay, we'll work with the arms now. So we have the right knee on top, take the left arm above, bend the arm, and bring right fingers to left elbow to start. Now as you're here, this is all good for undoing sitting for long periods. You're going to keep the chin level to the ground and then draw the chin back, finding that chin tuck as you're pushing into that left arm. Also I can push into my right wrist from here. So even if you can find the bind behind the back, let's be here for a moment. Okay, let's take that right arm and release it to the right, all the way down to the mat. Pick up the left arm, and then find a side bend over to the right. So maybe you can move this right hand away. Feel the length. Ooh, you could feel all the way down through the left thigh as you're pressing that left leg down with the right. Up through the waist, the arm, the back. Now let's look up past the left hand. Let's come to center. Let's go to the left. Left hand down, right arm up and over. And let's look up past the right hand. Come to center. Hold the knees and then begin to fold into them. Release the trunk down. So if you were doing this in seated, my apologies. I didn't know we were going to go and do all of this stuff. So hopefully you came up and figured, or if you were doing it in lying down, sorry. Hopefully you came back up and followed along as best as you could. Even if you just cross the ankles, all of that is great. I should have said that before. We're going to rise up, and then to kind of carry on this theme, we're going to grasp that right big toe or the inner edge of the feet if you want, the foot. I'm going to try that and just see. And take this leg out to the right. Now we can see this is tough because this left knee is in the middle. So we're going to bring this leg back and take this left knee out to the left, and then go ahead and take that right leg out to the right. So here I'm finding some stability by holding my left knee. Another option is grasping the big toe with the peace fingers. So just see what works for you. See if you can keep that trunk nice and tall. We did this in lying down. You can keep that right knee bent if needed. Okay, we're going to be switching sides in a moment. So let's release this right leg and now begin to set things up so we can take our cow face posture with the left knee on top. Or just, cross the ankles and just make sure you're in the other position than where we were before. So in this position, you could probably sense the difference between the right hip and glute and the left hip and glute, parts of the back, that imbalance. And we're going to work on that. So hands to that top knee, arms straight, shoulders back, trunk upright, chin drawing in slightly. One more breath. We're going to be lifting the right arm, bending that arm, left fingers to the right elbow, and again, lift the chin so it's parallel to the ground, draw the chin in, pressing in, since we're drawing that elbow back and center, and then pressing the head into the left wrist, into potentially part of the right arm, depending. Softening into the stretch. And even into those areas that are more active. All right, we'll take that left hand down to the mat, straighten the right arm, and then find that nice side bend to the left, sliding the left hand away. Let's look up past the right hand. And head back to neutral. Rise up, side bend to the right, right hand down, left arm up and over. And inhale, rise up to center. Hands to the knees. We're going to start to fold into them. And let's rise. Here we're taking hold of the left leg, and we learned that moving that right knee out to the right is going to help. So now take that left leg out to the left. Be aware of what's activating, what's stretching, what's shortening, what's lengthening. And let's release. Okay, we're going to work on the neck. So ankles crossed, roll the shoulders a little bit. We do need a little bit of a twist. We haven't done too much of that today. So right from here, let's begin with the twist. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Get tall, press into the knee to turn. Turn the head all the way. Come to center, twist to the left. Inhale, come to center. Let's roll the shoulders, take them back, down. Turn the head left, right a few times. We need to increase mobility in the neck. And we do that by simply moving. So let's bring the head to center, up and down a few times. We're just about ready to rest after all this activity. Bring the head to center, lift the right ear up. Actually, bring the head back to center. Take the right hand behind, and let's bring that arm back a little bit so that we can hold the upper arm with the right hand. And then go ahead and take that right ear up. lower the chin a little bit. Lift the chin. Bring the head back to where it was. The chin in a neutral place, and then head back to center. Releasing the hands and switching. Left hand grasping upper right arm. Lift that left ear up. Turn the chin down a bit. And turn the chin up. Chin back to center. The whole head to center. Release the hands. Find a little bit of motion here. Maybe some big circles with the head. Maybe some circles with the trunk. So you're going to find your final posture or two before we rest. So, maybe you want to go into leg lengthener and capitalize on what we've done so far. Maybe you're ready for a nice back bend. I would recommend a bridge pose at least for a few breaths. But we've done a lot of good things for the back, strengthening and lengthening, and so we're fairly balanced. And so you'll find the next position, remembering that balancing the body helps minimize the distractions of the body to help the mind find a more peaceful state. So a lot of our work is about minimizing distractions. So noticing, as you're going through how the body feels, how it feels less obvious. Certain areas maybe were throbbing before and calling for your attention. Maybe they're not so obvious anymore, and that's a good sign. And little by little, we will be coming into a rest. We're going to start making our way to Shavasana. Just make sure that you've balanced and evened out. And so coming into that position in which there's no activity of the body except for the automatic activity you do not have to put any of your own mental energy towards. We're coming into that state of total relaxation, leaving the arms out to the sides, the palms up, leaving the legs slightly off to the sides, with the toes pointing out. So arms not in a T formation, but more like a slight angle away from the body. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Release out through the mouth. And we're going to allow a sense of releasing and softening and melting in experience to the sounds that you'll hear, and also to the sound of my voice, where I'll repeat the invocation that we began with. So just letting every phrase settle in the period of silence between the phrases. Om. I bow to the presence of the divine within. Our true and highest teacher. That lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Peace, peace, peace. Little by little, just become aware of where you are right now, where your physical body is. And start to fill your physical body with that awareness, with consciousness, filling back into the hands and into the feet, into the arms and the legs, through the trunk, the neck and the head. Fully present now in the body. Begin to breathe more deeply. Every breath moving that quality of peace, that ever-present peace. Through the body, through the mind. Feel it strengthening with every breath. Feel the okayness of that peace in that peace. And then when you're ready, move the hands and the feet. And find your way to seated to seal our practice today. So in this peaceful state, where we've dropped distractions to open up to qualities of our true nature, in which peace is radiating at all times, but we tend to be blind to it and deaf to it. But now maybe we can sense it much more. So let's now focus on areas of the world that are dealing with destructive conflict. Let's think of those who are suffering from that conflict. And send thoughts of peace to those suffering in the conflict. Now, those who might be causing conflict, we treat them similarly, which is send them thoughts of peace and hope that they return to a place that doesn't inflict suffering on others, and instead spreads peace. You could take a few breaths, and with those exhalations, really allow those thoughts to move, to be sent out. We're even going to sound Om so that we can help those thoughts move as well. So let's take a big breath in through the nose. Closing with Mangala mantra, which very much does what we have done, so that'll help even more. I was wishing for the ceasing of suffering for all beings and all the worlds, all the realms. And let's also wish for the realization of trust for all. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam lokah samasta sukhino bhavantu lokah samasta sukhino bhavantu lokah samasta sukhino bhavantu lokah samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.